So we have really conservative. So very energetic. So when you take out the tour, Renee's going to use it for months. You're going to follow you. What?
I have, you know what? You'll be fine. No, you have all summer until I'm here till the end of August.
In September, it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're giving your local bagel time. Oh, all right. I am too.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. I was told that after last week, when there were so many people here, that there would be 7 tonight, and there's not.
There's definitely 7.
Well, there's more than 7,
yeah.
And it's wonderful. And I'm so happy it's Shabbat, and we have a chance to pray together. So what I want us first to do is, we've all come from different places and from doing different things during the week. I'd like everyone just to take a moment and think of what you did during the week, the things that you want to hold on to, and the things that you don't want to hold on to. The things that you don't want to hold on to, breathe out. Leave them here. We usually carry around a great big backpack, and we carry around too much stuff. Stuff from our childhood, stuff that we should have gotten rid of a long time ago. And no one needs to carry the bricks. So I'm going to ask you, and we're going to learn how to do it this year, to put them down. Leave them for someone else. And so we get to welcome Shabbat and take in a nice deep breath. And breathe in joy and peace and a sense of belonging, a sense of being part of a community. And I pray that in the next 24 hours, you do something for yourself. So we continue with the Nigun, which is a melody without words. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Lai lai la lai 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 lai. We turn in our prayer books to page 120. And we call up the Ben Simon family for candles and for Kiddush.
You ready? Hi, Asher. Are you ready? All right, come closer.
What's this?
It's the microphone.
Microphone.
And it hears you.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, V'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
See mine?
Okay. Can you hold the kiddush?
Here you go, Asher.
Will you hold that?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Be careful. 2 hands.
Don't drink it yet.
What is it? It's the. Yeah. After the candles, what do we do? The wine.
I'm sorry, it's not wine, Stephanie.
Oh, it's kid friendly. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'b'ratzon hinhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kitashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodecha, v'ahava u'vratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim, you can have a sip. You did excellent job.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Another drink.
All right.
Take a
We'll
drink.
see you shortly.
Yes.
All right.
He's smart.
Well, we have a tradition. So where Shai's family comes from in the Sephardic tradition, you drink the entire cup without stopping. So this is the tradition that he sees at home, so this is the tradition he knows.
Is that a new tradition you created, Shai? Okay.
It's a long-standing tradition in their family.
Well, you can enjoy that.
Okay, good job. Thank you.
That's good. Nobody ever finishes the grape juice.
I want to make sure. Trying not to waste.
That's good. Beautiful. Yeah, sure. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Back down.
Toda Rabah.
We turn to page 124 as we read together. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be so high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We turn to Lecha Dodi on page 138. Lecha Dodi was written by Shlomo Alkabez in Tzfat, which is a beautiful town in Israel. Everything is painted this magnificent shade of blue. And you really feel like there's a sense of holiness in there because you can overlook the clouds. So Shlomo Alkabetz, when he wrote this, he wanted to make sure that no one forgot his name. And so there are a lot more verses than this. And every verse begins with a letter of his name. So years later, we certainly remember him. And we remember Tzfat as we join together in Lecha Dodi.
It's like the guy who did the illustrations in the New York Times with Nina's.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want, for the final verse, if you wish, you can stand up and welcome anyone who's late, or the Shabbat bride. But we begin with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Yishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lehu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machashava techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orei, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Those who wish to rise. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uvtzola, toch emonei am segula. Boi chala, face us. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We continue on page 144. You can remain standing for the Chatzi Kaddish. David Kahn, I knew you were coming, so I did this for you. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrachutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayei chol v'yomekol u'chayei decho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman karim v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'l'olmei halmaya. Yitbarach, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'par v'tromam v'tnaseh. Vitana, Vitane, Vitana, Shemedi Kudisha. Ne'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, dushbekata v'nechemata, damira mi'alma, v'imeru, amen. We continue. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. The bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta. Torah mitzvot hukim umishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shochveinu v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem neged yomam, yomam v'layla, v'avatecha al tasir mimenu l'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher nohim tzarcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha v'lechtecha v'derech v'shotbecha uvkumecha v'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha v'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha v'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'lohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim li'od lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
We turn to page 157 and read together at the top. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o seifele, nora ראו בניך, בוקי הים, לפני משה מרים, זהינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, בעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We find the Hashkivenu on page 160 and 161. This traditionally was a prayer that was said before one went to sleep at night, because the rabbis thought that sleep was 1/60th of death, and they wanted God to take their soul and hold it while they slept and return it to them in the morning. And Moda'ani, or Moda'ani, in the morning is a companion prayer. But of course, no one was doing it at home, and so they put it into the prayer books so that it would be said. So we choose one of the paragraphs on page 161 and either read them in a whisper or read them silently. We turn to Vishamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 164, we find the tefillah, or ha'amidah, the standing prayer, and I'd like to ask everyone to please rise at this moment.
Adonai sebatai titaku fiha yitehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zoher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Mevi Gula Libnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Yizrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Michei Kol atah, Rab leHoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel Chayim b'Chesed, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סמיך נופלים נופי חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We take moments from page 169 through page 178, where we find Shalom Rav, to find whatever prayers speak to you on the page, or whatever you're thinking of at this moment, whatever your heart prompts.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Chasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Chasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom, shalom rav Yisrael amcha, chasim le'olam. Shalom rav Yisrael amcha, chasim le'olam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael, lechol it u'v'chol shah, Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Chasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Chasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We pray silently.
Ose shalom b'mama, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'apo Yisrael, v'imru, imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom. aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So we turn to page 364 as we rise together for the service for the reading of Torah.
And if we have some people who'd like to help us, like Jack or Eli or Asher, we need your help with the Torah service if you want to come up now.
And we'd also like to invite up at this time the entire St. Lifer family, the Fields, and the Ben Simon family.
And you're Joanne too. All right, where's our helpers? Okay, here comes Jack. Okay, where's Eli? Does Eli want to come up? Okay.
You guys are really fast.
Where is Eli?
Where is Eli?
All right. Okay. The gang's almost all here. We're going to open the ark.
Standing up nicely.
Here we go.
What's in here?
Okay. We're going to put the rabbi
I
in.
don't want to hurt your feet.
Well, what's this?
What do you think it is?
What's inside?
Okay. For you to hold. Okay. Jack, where's Eli? Eli. Okay. All right. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema. Okay, you guys are going to follow Dean, okay? Lecha Adonai hagedula, hagevura, hativeret, v'hanitzach v'hahon. Yihol v'shamayim u'v'haaretz, Yihol v'shamayim u'v'haaretz. Lecha Adonai hamalaka, ani na'aseh lechol rosh. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omer. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omer. An haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. An haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Ve'ha'erenu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yachil levaveinu le'ahava u'yirah et shemecha ve'lo nivosh le'olam va'ir ve'lo nivosh le'olam va'ir ve'ha'erenu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yachil levaveinu le'ahava u'yirah et shemecha. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. All right, please be seated. Thanks for all our helpers.
What the heck is it? I don't know if I'm more. No. Sha'el Moshe. No. Let's see what. Did someone move it this week? More Sav. Okay. Got it. I'm going to be reading tonight from page 1245 in the Plot Commentary. I'm reading tonight in honor of my parents' yahrzeit. Father was last week, my mother's in a couple of weeks. And this portion, the Israelites are going into the land of Canaan, promised land, Israel. And Moses is divvying up the land for the different tribes. And God says to him, set up 6 cities of refuge, 6 sanctuary cities, where that if someone commits a manslaughter, that they can go there and be safe. I suppose in those times in the ancient Near East, someone killed someone by accident or from your tribe or your clan, you would appoint someone in your clan to go over there and kill them. One of them, and then they would choose someone and go back to kill you. And this revenge would go on, and this was a way to kind of put an end to that, where you could go to a sanctuary city and get a fair trial. Okay, that's it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Bob, I feel like I should be following along with you with the plow, but I don't want everything rolling out the other side down into the congregation.
Now, where was it again?
So I'm gonna,
Where the heck was it? V'yadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, ki etem ovrim et hayardan artza Canaan. V'hikritem lechem, orim arei, miklat tiyena lechem, v'nashama rotseach miche nefesh bishkaga. V'hayu lachem hamrim lemiklat migoel, v'lo yamut harotseach ad imdo lifnei ha'eda lemishpat.
Yasher koach.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Lai 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 la 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 lai 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 lai
Yasher Koach.
Beautiful
May
job.
Their parents' memory continue to be a blessing, and may they continue to inspire you to chant Torah every time their yard sites come up. Please be seated. At this time, we turn to the Mishaberach.
Page 371 in your blue prayer book.
The Mishaberach is a prayer of healing not only for body, but for mind, spirit, and soul. There are so many people hurting in so many different ways on our earth that we add each and every one of them to our prayers. From our community, Rabbi Robert Orak, Nancy Baskin, Martha Brandwin, Miriam Solant, Aline High, Nancy Keller Coffey, Robert Summers, Louisa Corralo, Jessica Knight, Niles Chopper, Alice Chopper, Judith Landau, Pam Friedman, Eric Blumenfeld, Debbie Levin, Larry Boxman, and Lee Klatsky Alexander. If there's anyone else whose name you would like to say at this time, please do so as my eyes meet yours.
William Farr.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cantor?
Pamela Clare.
We join together in the Mishaberach, page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBarach Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Avotenu. Those in need are healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We also mark the names of those who are watching from live stream and have prayers that they want to pray for those who are ill as well. We rise as we put the Torah back into the ark.
Ki lekachto natati lachem Torati al ta'azoh Etzrayimni lama hazikima v'tomecha me'ushar derachecha darchei noam ve'hon tivotecha shalom Ashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Hadei shamenu kekedem Hadei shamenu kekedem.
Please be seated. I want to welcome to our community tonight Rabbi Ellen Lewis, who has been a huge inspiration to me and how she leads her life and what she does and how she helps so many people. And you're here with your sister. I was so incredibly blessed to know your parents and adored them beyond belief. And so I'm so glad that you're here with us. I'm a true believer in the power of a photograph. Although my memory is still accurate, of course it's somewhat biased, like all memories. I love taking and collecting pictures as a way of recording time. My husband, Shane, is an amateur photographer, and he's been asked to take pictures in town, and he's always with his camera capturing the moment. We have an entire bookshelf dedicated to albums. They begin with our grandparents' marriage and their albums, our parents' birth, adolescence, and then their marriages, our own childhood, our marriage, and every moment of our children's childhood. We were able to get moments that are never captured on film. My first kiss was captured by a bunkmate who had her camera and was watching and captured it. I have that picture.
When you were at camp?
Yeah,
Wow.
who would have thought? And then this is even better. My husband proposed to me in a very small restaurant in Aspen called Kablunix. There are 6 tables in this restaurant, and it was his father's favorite. And he went the day before and brought the glass with the ring basically sewn into the seam of the glass so that you couldn't feel it, you couldn't see it. And the restaurant called everyone who had a reservation and asked them to bring cameras. And they did. And so we have many interesting pictures of that, especially pictures where I couldn't figure out where the ring was and what I was supposed to do to get the ring out. He later told me that I had to step on it to get the ring out, and that he had made a companion one that we would use at our wedding. Every album that we have represents physical, psychological, and emotional growth. Every photograph tells a tale of where our families have been and where we've been personally, and who has journeyed with us. They tell the tale of how we've arrived at the place where we now stand. This week we have a Torah double portion, Ma'atot Ma'aseh, which shares the same kind of journey through words rather than photographs. Okay, you can go upstairs. Yet this journey is not personal. It's the communal history of the people of Israel wandering 40 years in the Midbar, the desert. Chapter 33 of Numbers begins, Ela Ma'aseh B'nai Yisrael asher yatzou me'eretz Mitzrayim l'tzivatam biyad Moshe v'Aaron. These are the journeys of the Israelites, who started out from the land of Egypt, led by the hand of Moses and Aaron. The parasha continues listing the names of 42 places, the ancient Israelites' itinerary. So our sages ask, as they're wont to do, why does the text list every name and every place on their journey? Rashi suggests that the complete list reminds the people Israel of what had befallen them at every single place, every juncture of the journey. And he cites a passage from Midrash Tanhuma, comparing the passage to a parable of a king whose son was ill. The father brought the sick child to a distant place for treatment, and when they returned, the father began enumerating the journey. We stopped here where you had a fever, and we had to wait 2 nights for your fever to go away. And then we went here, and there was a wonderful woman who put cold compresses on your head. And so we went from this place to that place until you came home and you're healthy. Therefore, said Rashi, the short listing of the stages of their wandering was designed as reading material for the people to recall what had befallen them at each place after they were comfortably settled in the land, to remind them of the hardship of the past and the journey through the wilderness. Maimonides goes a step further. The sages, he claimed, had to be recorded for subsequent generations who might think that the people Israel traveled in the desert near cultivated areas in which it was possible to grow food and find water. Their existence in the wilderness is confirmed by this list of names. And this list of names, which are in Hebrew, are easily translatable into English. Through the list, we understand that the creation of our people into Am Yisrael was not a day wandering. It was a long journey. And the Israelites needed to learn to be free before they could enter the land of Israel. The Khatam Sofer, a Hasidic master of 19th century Slovakia, offers one other explanation for the names. He teaches that every name is a metaphor for what occurred there. As Jews, our wanderings in the wilderness, it is essential to our very being, to our very core as a people, on a continuing journey in which we share our history and our destiny. Parashat Ma'aseh traces the path from slavery in Egypt, from Mitzrayim, the narrow place, to the place of Piv, an opening. And every stop along the way provides either opportunity for growth or a hole in which the people become trapped, reverting back to childlike behaviors. Our ancestors traveled from Mitzrayim, a narrow place, to Sukkot, where they can begin to build temporary homes. From Etam, where God is with them, to Marah, a place of bitterness. From Sinai and receiving the 10 Commandments, to Dovka, knocked down again, and Ridifa, being pursued by others. The journey for the people Israel is like our lives. It's not smooth. We have all kinds of bumps and struggles along the way. And yet they travel like we do, from high point to low point to back to high point again. They defy God, they harm each other, and then when least expected, they come upon an oasis of holiness. Their journey is our journey. And most of the time, we're able to live in an oasis of holiness. The wilderness is a place of being that demands openness to life around us, being equally present to Mount Sinai the moment that we receive the Torah and the moment that we get every week here when the Torah is read again. When we do a hakafah, you'll see that I will hold my talit to the face of the person who is chanting Torah, not to the Torah itself. Because the person who's chanting Torah is the one who makes the words come alive. They're holy. And when they chant the Torah, they become even more holy. Bob, that was you tonight. Logic cannot define our paths. We're left alone with the newness of the journey and our reaction to it. The desert will be hills of metaphoric hills and valleys, but only by completing the passage to the Am Yisrael, the Israelites arrive at their final place, Kadesh, which means holiness. Holiness comes from when we turn back and look at the way we came. It's most often true that we don't know the power of a moment when we're in it, because we're in it. And it's only when we step back and take a look or look back at photographs, the Israelites didn't have them, that we see what the moment meant to us in that time and what it means to us as who we are now. Review of the journey is looking back to see who we've been. It's taking out the photos, reading old letters, and remembering whom we were and who we are now. It's no coincidence that this parasha occurs a couple months before the high holidays. It's our reminder to begin the process of renewal through review, to look with a clear eye, as clear as we can, at what occurred and how we were affected, to look at the events which caused us to grow and the events that taught us how much we still need to grow. For me, standing here before you, my second Shabbat service, still learning, obviously bumping everything off the bima. I'll continue to learn, but it's the beginning of our journey together. And I pray that our journey is filled with many moments of kadosh, holiness, but we will have our moments of mara, bitterness, and we'll get through them together, like Am Yisrael always does. I'm so glad to be with you on this journey, and I'm excited to grasp your hand and see where we go into the future. May this be a Shabbat of new beginnings, of renewal, of rest. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We rise for Aleinu on page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latei gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Machmei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch, Shehunot HaShamayim ve'yotzei la'aretz, Moshav Yikara b'shamayim mimahal, U'shchinatu zo, begovhei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, Emet Makenu Efezulato, Kakatu Betorato, Viadata Hayom Behashivota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, Bashamayim Bibal, Vial Haaretz, Mitachad Eloheinu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
Please be seated. After we recite the words of Kaddish, before we go into our final song, we will invite our president up to read some announcements. Want to do it now? Okay, why not?
If anybody wants to know, this is a sesame bagel. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And on behalf, you're welcome on behalf of Monmouth Reformed Temple. I want to welcome you and thank you for being here today. I'm going to read a few announcements. Contributions to Tzedakah for the month of July will benefit the Source at Red Bank Regional High School. The Source is a school-based youth services program committed to supporting the mental health, well-being, and educational success of all students. They build public and private partnerships to ensure quality services that are effective, culturally appropriate responses to the diverse changing needs of students and their communities. All Source programs are free. Monica and James Brewer are matching donors. Every Tuesday, people see it on the email blast, I'm at Coffee Corral in Red Bank and also other board members between 8 and 9. This Tuesday only, anybody there, I'll treat them. So, and they have good coffee. So every Tuesday between 8 and 9, we meet in the back, and there's other board members and myself there. They're members of our congregation who are very sensitive to scents and fragrances. MRT strives to provide a scent-free environment in our building. The MRT community asks that you avoid wearing scents of all kinds when coming to our synagogue, and please inform your guests that are visiting with us. MRT continues to engage together in meaningful ways. We would love for more people to invest in our mission of connecting as a Jewish community. We welcome your investment of time as well as donations to help us grow. For information on joining our MRT family or making a donation, please contact Jordana in the office or Rabbi Edelman or Cantor Clissold. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Page 595. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the light itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest nights, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember this week, in the period of Shiva, Norma Cohn. In the period of Shloshim, Alan Batusros, Betty Wolfe, Ethel Greenwald. And we mark the yahrzeits of those who died this season in years past. Leo Atlas, Alan Basteros, Sylvia Banduck, Tina Block, Bentley Cooper, Mark Copley, William Dorff, Jack Fleischer, Francis Gordon, Marcia Grossman, Colonel Morton Grottenstein, Emma Hyman, Joan Lang, Bernard Merlis, Jeanette Mendel, Dr. Sidney Niederhofer, Barbara Scharf, George Seligman, Martin Sheen, Joseph Singer, Gloria St. Leifer, Seymour St. Leifer, Glenn Stacy Waldman, and Ethel Wallenfelds. If there's anyone else who is here to observe a yahrzeit, please state their name at this time. Thank you. We rise as one community and turn to page 598 to recite the ancient Aramaic words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei echon u'v'yom echon, v'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'nekar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yama v'yivru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. Please be seated.
I want to invite back Eli and Jack and Asher. And while they make their way in, I'll turn you all to page 643.
And I think Abby and I have a dear friend in the congregation.
Only one?
No, so many, but one that has been a mentor for us, Rabbi Bennett Miller. I keep looking at you because you haven't aged ever. I've known you for 26 years, and you don't age. And we're so grateful to have you both here tonight.
Oh, Joan and
We're both honored.
That's
Sorry.
nice. I went to cantorial school with one of your daughters, who became such a close friend. So we sing Gesher Tsar Ma'od, and then we're going to ask our helpers to help us with the Motzi. Kol halam kulo, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Kol halam kulo, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, V'ha'ikar, V'ha'ikar, Lo nefachid kelam, V'ha'ikar, V'ha'ikar, Lo nefachid kelam, Kol ha'olam kulo, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Kol ha'olam kulo, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od. All right,
Okay.
we have the challah over here. You want to help the rabbi open it up?
Okay, are we ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. You guys can each take a piece. All right. Okay. Be careful. Oh, that's smart. Oh, you're serving people each? That's nice, Asher.
Oh, very nice.
Take one piece for yourself.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.